Hey Jesse, we have already made a commitment to the go live. Just work backwards from that date. If you ever had those words dropped on you at the start of the project, you already know what's coming next. Corners get cut, scope gets squeezed, testing get compromised, and people, they burn out. And when things goes wrong, which they will eventually, it's you who's standing in front of leadership explaining why you missed the important target they choose for you. This isn't mismanagement. This is project sabotage dressed up as decisiveness. Let me make something clear. Most high-profile project failures don't start in the delivery. They start in the boardrooms, where deadlines are set before anyone understands the work. A senior executive under pressure to show progress maybe makes a public commitment, maybe to a board, maybe to a regulator, maybe to a shareholder. The date is locked in, announced and broadcasted. And then they turn to you, the project team, and say, now make it happen. At that point, it doesn't matter how much risk there is. It doesn't matter how much work is unknown. The date has become a symbol, not a delivery, but of leadership confidence. And now your role quietly shifts from managing the project to protecting that symbol. You start padding dates. You start padding, I would say rather, updates. You start smoothing out burn down charts. You reduce testing to meet some specific dates. You skip workshops. You ignore early warning signs, because now you are not just managing a project, you're managing politics. Here's why this happens over and over again. First, executive pressure. Leaders want to look decisive. They want quick wins. So they announce dates based on gut feeling, past project, or political needs, not planning. Second, false commitment, false confidence. Someone remembers a similar project that went well, but they forget that the context is different. The team is different. The systems are different. They treat delivery like template, not challenge. Third is fear of resistance. PMs, BAs, architects see the risk, but no one wants to be a person who will say, that's not realistic. So they stay quiet. We fall in line. We build plans to satisfy the dates, not the reality. Fourth is the optimism bias. We assume everything will go right. That vendor will deliver. That requirement will be stable. That tech will behave. That testing will find nothing serious. But projects aren't ideal. They are messy. And optimism without a buffer is not strategy, it's a trap. Let me tell you what it looks like in the real world. A few years ago, I led a project to modernize a utility company's reporting system. Leadership had already promised regulators that they will receive this new system by December the 31st. When I joined, we hadn't even finished the vendor onboarding. The integration hadn't been scoped. The infrastructure wasn't even provisioned. But the date was non-negotiable. We engineered the project plan to fit the timelines, cut the corners, compressed, set UAT into overlapping windows, drop some of the non-negotiable reports, limited stakeholder reviews. Every week was a scramble. People were working weekends. Stress levels spiked. And yes, we technically went live on December 31st, but for the next 2 months, we were flooded with support tickets. Users were frustrated. Reporting accuracy was inaccurate. Fixes were being deployed weekly. It wasn't a launch. It was a slow motion crash. So what do when the leadership hands you an impossible date? First, educate on the cone of uncertainty. Show them that early in a project, estimates, they vary as much as 400%. Don't give a single date, give a range. Explain what would need to be true for the early dates to be feasible. Second, separate the political milestones from the delivery milestones. If a board or executive needs a date for optics, offer a demo or a dry run. Protect your go live until the solution is ready. Third, build 2 plans, one fast track and the right track. The fast track shows what it takes to hit the aggressive timeline. Maybe more funding, reduced scope, or parallel testing. The right track shows what a safe, high-quality delivery looks like, but make them aware of the trade-offs as well, right? Fourth, invest in early proof. Build small working prototypes, prove integrations, prove data quality, prove reporting logic. This creates trust and gives you room to negotiate more realistic timelines later on. Fifth, create a culture of truth. Your team must feel free to say, we need more time. That's not weakness, that's professionalism. And if leadership can't handle that, you have a bigger problem than just the timeline issues to solve here. Deadlines should serve the project, not the other way around. When a date drives decisions instead of delivery readiness, everyone loses. The business gets a system that barely works. The users loses trust, and the team loses morale, and the leadership loses credibility. You want to be a real project leader? Then your job is to challenge assumptions, to speak the truth, to confront the uncomfortable early, so your team doesn't suffer later. Because no one remembers the date you hit. They remember the pain it caused. And that's not delivery. That's denial on a deadline, right? Okay. Have you ever been handed an impossible date? What did you do? Share it in the comments. I will walk you through how would I have approached it in the next time. Okay? I'm Jesse. I have led tough projects. I have led and coached real teams. I'm here to help you do the same. This isn't theory. This is your edge you've been looking for. Thank you for listening, and bye for now.